Hello, everybody. Green Effect Podcast, Season 4, Episode number 5. It is episode number 5, right? I'm totally losing track right now with all the personal stuff going on in my life. I'm going to just see here. Are we on episode 5? Can somebody help me? Are we on episode 5? We are on episode 5. Welcome to episode 5. So lots of crazy stuff going on. The economy is just a mixed bag of mess. So I'm going to start today by talking about some of my personal stuff, and then I'm going to dig into trying to untangle just some of the shit going on. There's a lot of stuff, and media is not helping at all. So, and I will say, this actually marks a bit of a milestone. This is the first time I'm recording in 4K. So if you want to see exactly how long my hair is or the last time I shaved, man, dude, you are in for a treat. You can now see it on YouTube. So if you're listening and you're just listening to the audio podcast and you want to see how bad I look on camera, by all means, pop to YouTube and you can take it all in. It's quite a sight to see. So quick update on me personally. Got the surgery coming up, got the date, and I didn't have an episode last week because I'll be honest with you, it has been so busy. A lot of clients coming in. We got first-time home. We're going to talk about this for the podcast, but we got first-time home buyers that were maybe on the fence, and all of a sudden there's hope, right? We were hearing rates are coming down. We had a bit of a hiccup there, but rates by and large are coming down. Inflation is coming down, unless you're at the pumps fueling up your car, and that's not feeling real good right now. But we're seeing a lot of people come in. But also, I think I've said this before, as a mortgage agent, we're really busy in January and February talking to people about their mortgage statements, and those all will come in January. So we're talking about options. Do we renew early? Do we have to prep something? And if I sound like a broken record, I really don't care, but I'll be honest with everybody. I don't care if your mortgage is up in 4 months, 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, even 4. You gotta have a mortgage professional in your corner planning things out. So if you are out there and you're not sure, or you know this thing's coming up and you don't know what to expect, or you're losing sleep at night knowing that the rates are going to be higher, it's like, I think it's something like 60 some odd % of people, when they renew in the next 2 years, are coming out of fixed rates. Okay, that's ginormous. You're going to definitely have a bit of a higher rate. So make sure someone's planning out. I always tell my clients, get at me, get on my radar so I know what's going on, so I can help plan you out for the future. Anyway, that's what we're really busy with in January and February. And then, of course, first-time home buyers getting off the fence. And then, of course, I'm planning for a surgery that's going to knock me out for, hospital visit for 3 or 4 days, and then it's going to be a long recovery, but at least, don't worry, everybody, I can work. So what's going to be kind of fun is I think you're going to eventually see me in a neck brace, a neck brace of some sort while I'm recovering. But hey, listen, knock on wood, I'm doing kind of a desk job where I can still work while I'm recovering. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but hey, being self-employed, that's just what happens. So anyway, whatever. So that date's coming up. I think I got one more podcast before my surgery, and then boom, off we go to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So, all right, well, let's just get right off. And I will tell you, you know how people have problems or an obsession or something like that? Well, I'm just going to share with you mine. This is my little problem. As you know, we have home office, right? So yeah, I work out of a couple of different real estate offices, but my main, my recording studio, the mess of crap behind me, that's like my office. Well, I have a bit of a problem. So doing the job that I do, you might not think this, but having multiple monitors is a big deal. You're dealing with multiple documents, chat systems. As I do this podcast, I'm recording the podcast on one screen. I got my articles on another, email over here, all sorts of crap. Well, I've had 3 monitors, and I have a MacBook Pro because, I'm a bit of an Apple whore, so whatever. But I had a MacBook Pro 16-inch, okay? And it's a powerhouse. It's good. It's awesome, actually. I don't think a laptop has ever lasted me as long as this one has. I'm coming up to like 2.5, 3 years. Anyway, I had 3 monitors at my home office. Well, I just figured out how to add a 4th. So I now have 3 31-inch widescreens and my poor little 27-inch up top. So I've got 4 monitors, and then my iPad is playing my shows. I like to have my shows going. I'm not even watching them, but I'm listening to, Sons of Anarchy or Suits or some show like that just to kind of keep my brain moving. It's probably not the best thing. Or I've got music going. I love listening to jazz music when I'm doing like intense work, or if I'm really like in a zone, I got like other music going. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not the point. But I'm up to 4 now, so you're gonna see me looking up at my notes. I got one in front of me, and then off to my left, I've got my web browsers. I got my files. It is. I know it's a problem. I get it, but until you've experienced all these monitors, I'm sure I'm catching some sort of disease or whatever, but I'm telling you, man, it is one hell of a trip. I can work so much better with this. And again, I'm sure it's not good for my health, but dude, I'm loving it. This is fantastic. So you're going to see me look up, because that's where I've got my articles and my notes and stuff for the show. Camera's right in the middle of all 4. And then I've got the main one in front of me that I can watch myself and my beautiful hair and stuff like that. So, all right, let's get on to why you probably showed up for this, because you want to find out what the hell is going on. So let's start with inflation. So February 20th, today's the 25th. So just last week, inflation came out in Canada, okay, down to 2.9%. Hot off the heels of a terrible jobs report, like a good report, but a terrible one. And when I say that, what I mean is we added a lot of part-time jobs and eliminated a lot of full-time jobs. Now, I'll just digress a little bit on that as to why it's not a good report. The unemployment rate stayed about the same. And remember what I said, we need more people unemployed. In order to make the economy move, we need more people unemployed. Simple. When we have that many part-time jobs added, it's probably because we have so many temporary workers here, student visas, a lot of new, maybe not permanent new Canadians, but temporary Canadians who are working 2 and 3 part-time jobs. That's not good. It's good that there's jobs, but it's not good because they're usually not the jobs that you can really develop a career in. And then we had, and I'm sorry I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we lost like 14,000 full-time jobs. That's not good. That's companies condensing or decreasing their expenses and increasing with cheaper labor. So it's not a good report. There's a few other things there, but it wasn't good. So then we have the inflation rate come down from like 2.4 down to 3.4 down to 2.9. And so help me, if Disney Plus lady gets up there and is like, oh, it's because of all the wonderful things we've done to help, I swear, I will lose my freaking marbles. Because if she gets up there and takes credit for anything other than calling another election, it's not good. It's not good. All right? Anyway, I'm going to post this on social media this week. I believe it's this week. I just did 4 weeks of social media posts with me going off, so it's coming. If it's not this week, it might be next week, but it's coming. If you remove shelter cost increases, which I believe were about 27.4% for mortgage costs and 7.9% for rent price growth. If you remove that, I'm posting a stat that basically shows inflation only went up like less than 2%. Like it wasn't very much. So if we dig into the numbers a little bit, year over year, mortgage costs 27.4% increase. This is why, if I come back to what I said at the beginning of the podcast, you have a mortgage account for renewal, get on my radar, folks. And then, of course, rent price growth, we'll call it 7.9, call it 8% increase. So removing that from the numbers, and now all of a sudden you've got a better number in there that's more relative to our economy. Now, gas was included as an increaser here. Sorry, it wasn't. It was a decrease, but then all of a sudden in February we've had a jump. So those were, don't forget, those were January inflation numbers year over year. So I know gas is up right now. If that keeps going, we may have a slight jump in inflation. Not sure yet. Hopefully not, but that could be a thing. So it is good news. Hell, guys, inflation going down is absolutely fantastic news, but we got to read in between the lines. And we also have to take some of those indicators of increased mortgage price, rent price. Is rent going to get better? I don't know, man. There's a bunch of tenants right now in Ontario not paying rent because they don't have to, because the landlord-tenant board is just not, there's nothing happening, right? So it's good news, but let's see. Now, if we look at how weak the economy is, and folks, there's indicators, okay? The jobs report, inflation minus mortgage and rent, our economy has come to a halt. It absolutely it's just grind to a halt. So now what we could see, and Tiffy Boy had to do this. Like, let's call a spade a spade. He had to fix his mistake. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it's not his mistake, okay? But we're probably going to see now a rate cut probably in June. But if inflation keeps staying low or keeps decreasing, remember what I said before, Tiffy has said, as long as he sees it coming down, he's open to the idea of cutting rates. We could, maybe, a small chance, I think the number is 40%, we could see a rate drop in April. Maybe. Don't bank on it. Bank on June. Much better. If this has taught us anything, bank on worst case scenario. All my clients know that. I use worst case scenario terms with them all the time, okay? So stay focused on probably June, because then he's going to go the other way. He's got to restart the damn economy. Will the drop in international students help? Yes, it will help. Is it going to solve it? Not even close. But it's going to help, especially in places like, and I got to look this up, Conestoga College as an example, okay, right around Kitchener. There's a great article, and I'm going to have to look it up because this is what my wife does. She sends me articles I should be posting on social media because she's kind of cool like that. So Conestoga, and sorry, I'm just looking for which screen this is on. So, I was going to play a video. I don't want it to do that. So Conestoga's president has just taken a shit kicking in the media. Just when was this posted? This was like recent, February 19th. And basically, reported on CTV News Kitchener, basically he's being criticized heavily because they have brought in like 30,000 new international students and zero real housing strategy. He could work for the Liberal government. Sign this guy up. This could be our next prime minister. I'm joking. That's not even funny. But he's been highly criticized on this. Conestoga has made their bones on this. Okay, so I think that international student thing is going to be very regional, which I think is fine. Okay, Dune area of Kitchener has become a lot of student housing, so I think that needs to be addressed, and I think it will be. But that's when we come back to the topic of restarting the economy, that's what needs to happen. We need businesses now that have completely stalled to now start hiring full-time employees, to start to grow their business, right? Problem is, you can't do it fast, because as we all know, the second rates start to drop, all hell breaks loose. So, again, there's a bit of a mess there. I will say this, and I have been posting this on social media constantly, and sorry, if I can just confirm, the jobs report, it was a gain of 48,900 part-time positions, call it 50,000, and a loss of 11,600. Up 50, down 10. I'm just doing some rounding there, okay? But that's not good. Anyway, I just have the clarified number here and on monitor number 4. So the rate cut forecast, okay, has started at 150 basis points, 1.5. I've been posting this on social media. We went down to 125, then 150, then 1%, so 100 basis points. Now we're down to like 0.75 for the year. 150, guys, come on. I'm glad Benjamin Tall, who again makes a lot more money than I do, okay, came out with that and said 150 bips, but I don't think we were going to see 150 bips. Like that was really positive. I'm glad we had that opportunity, but I just don't think we were going to see it anyway. So, I mean, at the end of the day, any sort of drop we can get, we'll take. But they're watching everything. Every single statistic that comes out, they are watching it to make sure that when they drop the rates, they're doing it for the right reasons and there's no other things that are really going to impact. They're going to get this right because the whole is just so big. So big. So, and then we also have, too, don't forget, Tiffy Boy's come out and said that the rates are not going to control housing. Housing inventory is going to help housing, and maybe a control on immigration as well. That would not hurt either. Okay? All right, let's get into some more fun information here. So on that note, let's just keep on going. This is like hot off the press. New home construction in Canada fell by 10% in January. I posted that scary stat that I actually talked about in the last podcast. Long story short on that one, but for every 25 new Canadians, we have one new single-family housing permit being issued. 25 to 1, guys. 25 to 1. 25, ... 1. So when we hear stuff like CMHC coming out and indicating that housing starts came in way lower, okay, that's not good. That's not good. And so this is just going to fuel the housing crisis. Let's call it a crisis where we just don't have the inventory. I'm hearing there are homes. There's one in Cambridge. There's one coming up in Waterloo. We're going to see north of 30 offers on a house. Remember that shit show that we had? It's back. It's back. It's in. The shit show is back of multiple offers on homes. Just saying. Going over, and this time I don't think it's actually a marketing thing where the realtor is pricing low. I just don't think anyone knows how much these houses are worth anymore. Because all of a sudden, in the last week, we have had a ton of interest. Remember I said earlier, I got a lot of first-time home buyers that are getting off the fence, trying to find out what they can afford. That's back. That's back again. So, man, until we can get more housing or reduce immigration, like very simple supply and demand management, we're going to have these issues. All right, so be forewarned. If you are a first-time home buyer, get out there now. Call me if you want. I do pre-approvals. I'm a mortgage agent. Just saying. All right. On the topic of, well, this didn't work out very well, and the topic of someone's a little pissed they might lose their job. Whistleblower. HSBC. So if those of you don't know, there's whistleblower laws at every single bank where basically you can blow the whistle on the bank without repercussion. Okay? But we have a whistleblower at HSBC. And for those of you who don't know, and I've been very vocal about this on the show and on social media, where it's not good. RBC buying HSBC is just not a good thing. It reduces choice. Not a good thing for customers, etc. Whistleblower comes out and basically throws HSBC under the bus, just as RBC, who has a meticulous desire for integrity, and basically says that HSBC's got some fraud mortgages happening. The one example they gave, I guess it was a hairdresser who wasn't even a Canadian, who bought a house. and they bought like a lot of houses and brought in cash. They made 30 grand as a hairdresser or 40 or whatever it was, and they bought like 5 houses. Again, listen, it's the review of mortgage documents from Branch showed quite the list of characters. There's a part-time casino worker with 3 Greater Toronto homes that claimed an income of $345,000 a year as a data analyst in Beijing. Or the part-time hairdresser with homes in Aurora, Markham, and Scarborough. That's $8 million in concrete there. That also earned $536,000 a year as a quote business manager in Guangzhou, which is also in China. Yeah. So RBC is inheriting these mortgages. So, but again, is this just a whistleblower? I mean, it must be correct, I guess. But is the whistleblower just kind of pissed off this is going on and saying, screw you guys? I'm telling. Maybe that's where we're at. And of course, Canadian lawmakers want an investigation for totally obvious reasons. So, RBC, you're welcome. Congratulations on your acquisition of HSBC. Your first month is going to be spent dealing with lawsuits and inquiries, and lawmakers wanted investigations. Have fun with that. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. It is what it is. Lots of fun there. All right, so that's kind of what's happening here in the market. I mean, that's really a Coles Notes version of rates, where things are going, what we're seeing. All right. I think it's going to be a very up and down ride for the next little while. Very up and down. Not real sure what's going to happen. Very sensitive. One little stat comes out that's not perfect. Boom, a change in direction. Going from 150 bip possible drop by Bank of Canada to 75. Remember, the prime lending rate's not connected to fixed rates. Okay, I didn't mention this yet, but bond prices were down. They were up and then they were down. The second Bank of Canada, or second the inflation numbers came out, bond prices dropped. Remember, bond prices down, fixed rate mortgages go with them because they're inverted. All right, bond prices go up a little bit, mortgage rates will probably go with it. Now, just remember one thing. We're very sensitive to rates right now, but if bond prices go a little bit up, a little bit down, rates go up, fixed rates go up a little bit, down a little bit, it's not a big deal. That's just kind of natural progression, all right? So don't panic about that. Anyway, that's what's going on. Please, if you have any questions, let me know. That's the update on the economy. And as we always end up with every show, make sure 5 stars, love me, like me, want me, desire me, 5 stars only. I don't think it accepts 4s. And other than that, keep fit, have fun.